everybody. Welcome back to WTF Cinema. I'd like to take a moment real quick to thank my friend Jessica Mack. She's responsible for the whole new opening title sequence. I think she did a great job, and it's probably a good idea to update your image every, half a decade or so. Today's movie is a tale as old as time. It's the story of a young woman who has to go out into a hostile and uncertain landscape with the help of a gruff but lovable guide. And sure, at first, they hate each other. But in time, they fall in love. No, not that one.
Cannibal women in the avocado jungle of death.
Hey, I like that movie. Can we just speed this up a bit? This is The Perils of Gwendoline in the land of the Yik-Yak. I think I put in Silence of the Lambs by mistake. Our film begins in some Asian town or another, in the early years of a decade, not too long before our own. Our hero, Tawny Katane, plays Gwendoline, and for some reason she has shipped herself to Asia instead of traveling like a normal human being. She's quickly abducted because this is the 80s, and everybody wanted to abduct Tawny Katane. Tawny's sidekick, who has just gone out and stolen some food for her and Gwen, comes back to find her mistress has been kidnapped. They never ever address why they weren't shipped together, how did the sidekick travel, why was Gwen in a shipping crate to begin with. There is nothing I love more in movies than long sequences in which characters speak in a foreign language without context or subtitles. It's fascinating to watch and not have any idea what's going on. Seriously, her abductors spend at least 5 minutes talking in non-stop Chinese. I have no idea what's going on. Most of the time they're not even talking to Gwen. They're talking to each other. And nothing's happening. It's just 5 minutes of them talking in Chinese to each other with no result. So there's not even context for me to go, oh, he was ordering them to do this, or he was questioning her about that. No, it's nonstop gibberish. Now, if I spoke Chinese, it'd be different. But I don't. I need subtitles. If you're going to do a portion of your film in a language that the rest of the film isn't in, I need subtitles. Unless you're specifically going for the sense of alienation. Which you could argue they're trying to do. They're trying to make it so you identify with Gwen, she doesn't know what's going on, and these people are talking in a language she doesn't get. You don't have to take that long to establish that, though. You're really just dragging it on at a certain point. Enter our hero, Gruff Man. At least he'll be able to speak a language I understand after his big dramatic fight sequence. Careful, Gruff Man. Some of those blows are coming within yards of hitting you. And so, Gruff Man frees Gwendoline and then walks away. You can cut the sexual tension with, well, anything really, because it's not there. Shortly thereafter, Gwen is reunited with her sidekick, and she just goes on and on about how dreamy Gruff Man is, and his muscles, and his blue eyes, and no mention made whatsoever about why she was shipped, why sidekick was separate. Nothing. We're never going to find out. Sadly, some thugs believe that Gwen is the one who beat up all the other thugs, because Tawny Katane looks like she could throw down. Gwen and sidekick quickly go running to find Gruff Guy and ask for his help. Help, help! They think we did that stuff you did. But he doesn't care, because I don't help nobody. So we're not even going for likable rogue here, are we? Now, Gruff Man does end up helping them, because as they're fighting to get away from the thugs, one of the thugs knocks over this chip that he'd put down on the roulette table, causing him to lose a bet. That's what it takes to spur our hero to action. Gwen explains that they're looking for her father, who's a rare butterfly collector, and asks him to help them as a guide, because clearly he knows his way around. He refuses. So she grabs some of his money, places a bet on the roulette table, and says, if this wins, you help us. And of course it does. So he does. Dude, that was your money. All she did was take your money. I mean, you're all, I don't help nobody, and now it's, I like her moxie? Whatever. A drugged up lech tells her that her father went off into the land of the Yik-Yak looking for this rare butterfly. The entire plot of this movie revolves around finding this butterfly. Because, see, this butterfly has never been discovered before. And so if her father finds it, then it will be named after him. This butterfly has never been discovered, but they know where it is, and they know what it looks like. Okay. If it's never been discovered, how do you know where it is and what it looks like? This is the entire point of your movie, and it doesn't make any sense. Gwen explains that she's seen the home of the butterfly in a dream. And she asks Gruffman to take them there. And he says no. It's absolutely absurd. The entire first half of this film is just him saying, no, I'm not going to help you. No, I'm not going to help you. No, I'm not going to help you. There's being aloof, and then there's not wanting to be in this movie. Immediately, all three of them are arrested because of the whole beating up the thugs thing, and they're put in jail. And then as part of his brilliant escape strategy, Gruffman starts manhandling Gwen. Basically, he goes at it like he's going to rape her, which causes the guards to jump up, run to the bars. He beats them up to the bars, grabs the keys, and they escape. If you don't want prisoners to rape each other, perhaps you don't mix the genders in your cells. I'm just saying, because you can see the cell next door has got just one dude in it, and then you've got 2 chicks and a dude in this cell. Why don't you put the dude in that one? Less chance of rape. Otherwise, if you don't care about the rape, then the guard shouldn't have come to examine it anyway. Just a little word of advice. If you don't want them raping, keep them separated. 3 more times, situations come up where they ask Gruffman to help them. And 3 more times, he says, no way. He continually tries to ship them back home, get them out of his hair. At a certain point, you really got to consider finding a different guide. You've only seen this man in 1 fight sequence. Well, 2, I guess, because of the prison breakout. But, what leads you to believe he'd be a good guide and not just a brawler? He clearly doesn't want to help you. He clearly doesn't have any sense of chivalry. And since you don't have any money, chivalry's all you can hope for. Look for another guide. They finally managed to blackmail him into helping by stealing a drug shipment he was meant to deliver. Yeah, this is a partnership made in heaven. Sadly, one of Gruffman's contacts told Gwen that her father is dead, which makes her more determined than ever to find this rare butterfly so that her father's name can live on. Because I'm sure that's what your father would want for you. For you to risk your life so you can die like he did in pursuit of a butterfly. So our heroes travel from jungle to desert. Can't even imagine how long a walk that is. It's weird that you never see them pack or eat any food. Now I know that Gwen and Gruff Guy are going to fall in love. It's required in a movie like this. We're now 1/3 of the way through. Let's see how their relationship is going.
You're a swine, Willard. I guess that's why I hired you. You're gonna help me find my butterfly. We made a deal.
Yes,
A
that's right.
deal? Well, that seems to be a strange word out here, don't you
Now
think?
look,
I'm ordering you to continue. And what's more, you're gonna carry Beth.
no.
And when I get tired, you're gonna carry me.
Look, I don't mind walking. Don't. I mean.
Lots of luck, Red!
Yeah, that's probably not good. So our heroes travel from desert into jungle again. Where the hell are these people walking?
Take your clothes off, quick!
That is not the first time somebody has yelled that at Tawny Katane.
Water!
She is really excited to see water, considering the downpour they went through the night before. Sadly, the water turns out to just be a trap. The local tribesmen show up to capture our heroes. Since they're all going to be killed in the morning, Gruffman asks Gwen if she's a virgin. When she admits that she is, he says that no woman should die a virgin. Since they're all tied up and can't actually touch, he talks his way through her first sexual encounter. I honestly can't decide if this is silly or erotic. Sidekick seems to have decided for me, but let's rewind the clock just a little bit and see what happened 5 minutes before this very erotic talking sex scene.
What did you think this was? A hike in the country? A little picnic?
Maybe tomorrow when the dogs start ripping out your stomach, then you'll curse your butterfly.
Yeah, that's just silly. Of course, the following morning they're able to escape because Sidekick loses her damn mind and just starts yelling at tribesmen. Men are pretty easy to manipulate. I kid you not, they include a Scooby-Doo style chase scene. Never in the history of existence has a chase scene like this ever actually happened. After losing the tribals in the desert, they follow Gwen's dream and finally find her butterfly. Thank God the movie's over. Or not. It appears as if our heroes have found a secret society of all women living deep underneath the desert. I hate it when that happens. Can I ask you this? Why is it anytime there's a society consisting entirely of women, they're always running around half naked? I've seen women get catty about boob sizes with other women, and since there's no men to appeal to, you can't tell me that they're running around just, jiggling with their hair all did up. Honestly, if there was a society of all women where no men were allowed, it would be sweatpants for miles. Since Sidekick was captured, Gruffman and Gwen decide to sneak in dressed as female warriors. The only thing sillier than Gruffman trying to dress up as a woman with a nice hairy chest and a beard? The fact that it works. Gwen and Gruffman have a final confrontation, and it's the weirdest one yet. Gwen alternates between telling him what a worthless human being he is and how much she loves him. She then fakes dropping off a cliff to trick him into admitting he loves her too.
I can't say that kind of thing. Oh no! Gwendoline! I love you!
I know, it's some kind of movie law that every film has to have a romantic subplot. I don't know why. And it's to the point now where I'm actually overjoyed when I see a movie that doesn't have a love story tacked in there somewhere. But this movie, of all the movies I've ever seen, thousands of movies that I've seen, literally, has the worst love story I have ever seen. You know it's gotta happen. You know it's gonna happen the whole time. And I think that's the only reason it does, is because the audience knows it has to. Because there is zero chemistry between them. They spend the entire movie fighting. Gwendoline spends half the time telling him what a worthless monster he is and how undeserving he is of love, and then the other half the time telling him how devoted she is to him. And I don't mean halfway through the movie she grows to love him. Almost immediately from the beginning, all of their dialogue is, I hate you, you're a monster who wouldn't know love if it punched you in the face, I'm utterly devoted to you. Why can't you see that? I don't know what to do with this. It is so ridiculous. There is no build-up because she falls in love with him instantly, but they still bicker non-stop about how much they hate each other, but she loves him. And then he finally admits he loves her too when she makes it look like she's killing herself. Let's just finish this up. I'm really going to speed this up now because it's like we wandered into a different movie altogether after this point. They all get caught. Sidekick is sneaking around in the background. They get split up. Gwen escapes captivity. Gruffman is sentenced by the Queen to make love to one of the warrior women before he is put to death, because apparently this is their mating ritual. So there's a battle to the death amongst the women to determine who's going to get to sleep with him, and Gwen sneaks into the competition and somehow, despite being pretty worthless the entire movie, is able to defeat an entire troop of warrior women in order to win the right to have sex with Gruff Guy. She's in disguise, so the Queen doesn't know it's her, and she insists on keeping her mask on so we can have a big reveal later, and the Queen goes with it. Which leads to Gwen finally losing her virginity as the Queen watches on. Just like every little girl imagines. Meanwhile, Sidekick makes a deal with a captive male scientist. They're going to destroy the underground city so everybody can escape. Also, I'd like to point out that the city exists as a diamond mining operation, because this is what I think about when I think of diamond mining. Also, since it's a secret society that nobody's heard of, who do they trade the diamonds with, and where do they get their food from? And our movie ends with our group barely escaping the evil clutches of the evil underground female mining operations. I've really glossed over the last half of this movie. Pretty much once she goes into that evil diamond mining secret female society thing, it's a whole other movie. It goes from being a Romancing the Stone style movie to being a bad Flash Gordon ripoff, complete with the set designs. It's very strange, the dramatic tone shift, but it's harder to tear the last half apart because I do kind of have a soft spot for the whole Flash Gordon thing. And the reason I'm doing this movie was the absolutely ridiculous love story. Not for the fact that it's a bad Flash Gordon wannabe. I don't really understand where this entire concept comes from of we hate each other, we hate each other, we hate each other. Oh, it turns out we love each other this whole time and we just weren't willing to admit it to ourselves. Because typically if I hate somebody, I don't want to be anywhere around them, let alone in bed with them. You know what I mean? The only place where that kind of mentality makes sense is an elementary school playground. Because that's when girls are icky, but for some reason that particular girl's making me feel funny inside, so I'm going to throw rocks at her. That'll teach her. That's where that mentality makes sense. It doesn't make sense in adults. I don't get it at all. And especially in a movie like this where there's no transition. They don't go from we hate each other to we have grudging respect for each other to we have deep affection for each other. That never happens. It's we hate each other, I love you. We hate each other, I love you. I love you too. Neither character shows any qualities that would be remotely attractive. I mean, they're both good-looking people, but come on. She's completely worthless and a pain in the ass. He's completely worthless and a pain in the ass. I mean, I guess they're meant to be together. My advice, if you want to actually see how this movie plays out for yourself, go watch Flash Gordon. Then go ahead and watch Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death. Do a double feature, and it'll be like you watched this movie, only enjoyable. I'll see you next time. Look for another guide. The Thunder agrees with me. Now we know that Gwen and Gruff Guy are going to light Thunderstrike in a minute. Here we go. Come on. That was a big one. Now we... My God, it never ends. Scooby-Doo style chase scene. Wow. See, now I'm trying to talk around the thunder. Since Sidekick was captured, Gruffman and Gwen decide to sneak